Francis Ngannou gains the MMA community's respect after details of his PFL contract are revealed. Umar Nurmagomedov may have had his next fight sorted out. Dana White explains why amateur fighter Shalie Lipp's tragic death hit him hard. And Ian Garry wants to follow in the footsteps of Khabib Nurmagomedov and Jon Jones. Francis Ngannou isn't a businessman. He is the businessman. On Tuesday, Ngannou joined the Professional Fighters League in a multi-million-dollar deal, which is being regarded as quote-unquote a strategic partnership between the two parties, with the Cameroonian being given equity and leadership roles in the promotion. For a start, Ngannou will serve as the PFL Africa president and help the promotion establish itself as a leading MMA force in the continent. Ngannou will also have a role on the PFL advisory board to represent the athletes' interests. As per their contract, Ngannou will have a boxing match co-promoted by the PFL this year, whereas he will make his MMA debut in the super fight division in 2024. The most astonishing part of this deal is that whosoever faces Ngannou in the PFL will bag a guaranteed $2 million, whereas he himself will receive a sum that's much higher. When asked why he demanded bigger paydays for his opponents as well, this is what Ngannou had to say.
I didn't want to be in the position that a promotion come and take like all the money and put on me, and I'm fighting those people that they are not getting what they deserve, and also that will push and get everyone like really hungry. Everyone want to get there. When you step in the octagon, you know what you're going into, and you should be rewarded for that, So I think it's a good thing that everyone gets rewarded. As a fighter, I will always stand on the fighter side, even if it's my opponent. We're still in the same side. We are just opponents that give each other opportunity, but we are not enemies. So when there is an opportunity, of course, everyone eats. When there's food on the table, everyone should eat and get what he deserves.
Jake Paul, who also signed with the PFL last year, was over the moon after knowing that Ngannou is now part of the PFL roster. The YouTuber turned boxing sensation congratulated Ngannou on landing a very lucrative deal.
Francis, welcome to the PFL. Everybody, it is official. This is massive, 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 massive news in MMA. We have some huge fights on the horizon. Congratulations, Francis. You deserve this. The best heavyweight in the world to the PFL, and PFL Africa is going to be massive. So excited. Let's go.
UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones also had something to say about Ngannou, but it wasn't concerning his deal with the PFL. Jones took issue with the Cameroonian calling himself the baddest man on the planet on his YouTube channel. Here's what Ngannou had to say.
And no matter what other promoters say, no matter what some fighters say, no matter what media say, who do you think is the baddest on the planet? Me.
Here's how Jones reacted. Quote, calling yourself the baddest man on the planet from across the street? Who does that, LOL? Ngannou's response was short and sweet. What do you make of Francis Ngannou's deal with the PFL? Umar Nurmagomedov fans, we have some really good news for you. The UFC is currently working on a fight between the Russian and top bantamweight contender Cory Sandhagen. During a recent episode of the MMA Hour, Ariel Helwani told his guest and UFC bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling that the UFC was talking about Umar versus Sandhagen.
They're talking Umar Sandhagen.
Oh, good.
You like that?
Fight. I mean, do I like it for who? I
don't know.
I like the fight.
Do you like it for Sandhagen?
I don't care who wins.
Feels like they're really behind Umar.
A few days ago, Umar took to his Instagram to reveal that he already has a fight booked, and it'll be his best performance to date. The rumor comes a few days after Dana White said that nobody in the bantamweight division wanted to fight the undefeated Dagestani.
We were talking about him earlier. That's a guy not everybody's beating the door down to fight. So, yeah, we'll figure something out with him.
Umar Nurmagomedov has made a blistering start to his UFC career, winning all 4 fights, with his most recent victory coming against Raoni Barcelos, whereas Sandhagen is coming off a solid decision win against Marlon Vera. Who would win a potential fight between Umar Nurmagomedov and Corey Sandhagen? Dana White has explained why amateur fighter Shalie Lipp's tragic death hit him hard. Lipp, an amateur MMA fighter with 3 wins and 2 losses on her record, died in a tragic 2-vehicle crash in Minnesota on May 7th. A few days after her sudden death, Dana White took to Instagram to pay his respects to Lipp, sharing her photo along with a caption that read, quote, "I know your name. Rest in peace." Speaking to the media after UFC Charlotte, Dana White explained why Lipp's death hit him hard.
Well, that girl hurt me bad. It messed me up for a few days, and you know, tragic things happen every day. That one got me. So she was a 21-year-old MMA fighter. She just got back from Thailand training for a fight that she was supposed to fight on May 20th, and she was involved in a car accident. She was the passenger. Everybody else in the accident lived except for her. And her mom went through her, found her journal and was reading her journal. At the end of every entry, she said, "Dana White will know my name," at the end of every entry. So Nick got a call and called me and said, "Hey, I just wanted to tell you the story." And it was just like, yeah. So I posted about her, and I've talked to her mom a couple times.
Ian Garry wants to achieve the highest of highs in mixed martial arts while staying undefeated, like Khabib Nurmagomedov and Jon Jones, who has only lost once in his career, and that too by disqualification. Garry improved to 12-0 as a pro MMA fighter after stopping Daniel Rodriguez with a head kick followed by a ground and pound at UFC Charlotte. In an interview after the biggest win of his career, Garry explained how important it is for him to stay undefeated to be regarded as the greatest of all time.
To be able to sit there and say no one ever cracked the code,
Yeah.
to be able to sit there and say no one was able to decipher the game that I bring to the table, absolutely, 100%. And we've seen it with Khabib. And look, Jon Jones is undefeated as well.
Yes.
And I believe that for a young man like me who has aspirations and goals to be one of the greatest of all time, you can take 2 outlooks on what career path I can have. I can have the path of Khabib and Jon Jones and be one of those absolute outliers in the sport that never lost, was never able to be cracked. Or you can be the GSP, or you can be the Anderson Silva.
Do you think Ian Garry has the skills to become the greatest fighter of all time? Give us your thoughts on today's stories in the comments section below. If you liked our video, please show us some love by subscribing so we can keep bringing you stories like the ones you just watched. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.